All right, so we are diving deep into a dynamic that I know a lot of you are curious about, Libra and Capricorn. We're going to figure out if this whole opposites attract thing can actually go the distance.
Yeah, romantically speaking, of
Yeah.
course. And we're going way beyond those like basic sun sign descriptions. We're
Yeah.
talking about nitty-gritty compatibility here based on your research.
Exactly. And if you are a Libra with a Capricorn or vice versa, get ready for some serious aha moments. And you know me, I always like to start with the fun stuff. So let's talk about the sexual connection.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Even though both signs supposedly really value sex, things might be surprisingly underwhelming.
Right. That is where those ruling planets come in.
Okay.
So Libra is ruled by Venus, love, pleasure, all things sensual, right?
Exactly.
Capricorn, on the other hand, ruled by Saturn, all about discipline boundaries. Maybe a little bit slower paced.
So we've got Venus-ruled Libra ready to like turn up the heat, and Saturn-ruled Capricorn maybe reaching for a comfy sweater instead.
You know, not quite that extreme,
Yeah.
but I think you get the idea.
Yeah.
And your sources even suggest that this pairing might even struggle with a lack of initial attraction or just feel bogged down by all those like external pressures that kind of dampen the mood.
Totally.
Like imagine being so caught up in your routines and your responsibilities, even just like societal expectations, that spontaneity just goes out the window.
Thought they're speaking different love languages right from the get-go.
Right.
Okay, but before we write this pairing off as a total snooze fest,
Okay.
let's talk about trust.
Okay.
Because our sources say that this is actually a surprising strength for Libra and Capricorn.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive
Right. Totally.
because Libra has a little bit of a reputation.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Capricorn's grounded practical energy really influences Libra to prioritize honesty.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like Capricorn brings out Libra's inner rule follower,
Okay.
sometimes even prompting feelings of guilt if they stray from the straight and narrow.
So it's not just about being on good behavior. It's deeper than that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Libra really starts to internalize Capricorn's emphasis on honesty and all of that.
Wow.
But, and you know, there's always a but.
Yeah.
Capricorn's strict and sometimes judgmental side can backfire.
Okay.
It might lead to Libra keeping secrets, and not because they've done anything wrong, but because they just fear Capricorn's reaction.
So we've swung from trust to a potential landmine of secrecy,
Right.
which sounds like a communication breakdown waiting to happen. And wouldn't you know it, that is exactly where a deep dive goes next.
Okay.
We've got to talk about how Libra and Capricorn communicate, because apparently it's a battlefield, according to this analysis.
Interesting.
I'm a little scared, but mostly intrigued.
Well, it's here that their elemental differences really create some sparks, and not always the good kind.
Okay.
So you've got Libra and air sign, all about communication diplomacy, finding balance through conversation.
Right.
And then you've got Capricorn and earth sign, grounded, practical, action-oriented.
Okay, so far this is sounding very true to form for both signs. Where's the friction point?
So our sources say that Libra, typically the embodiment of easygoing charm, becomes surprisingly stubborn with Capricorn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they dig in their heels and they refuse to budge from their perspective.
Yeah. So we have Libra, the zodiac's diplomat, suddenly tongue-tied, and Capricorn, the doer, wondering why all these words are even necessary.
Right, exactly.
Help me understand, is there any hope for these two to find common ground?
There is, because both signs crave stability.
Okay.
They're practical. They value structure.
Okay.
If they can tap into that shared pragmatism and bridge that initial communication gap, they can really have incredibly productive discussions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Productive discussions sound promising. At least they're on the same page when it comes to getting things done. But let's be real. There's more to a relationship than just practicality. What about the emotional landscape?
Right.
This is where our sources suggest things get really interesting between Libra and Capricorn.
Yeah. This is where we encounter, I think, the biggest compatibility hurdle for this pairing.
Okay.
You know, remember Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and yes, emotions.
Yeah.
But Librans also crave harmony.
Right.
So they can be pretty reserved, especially early on in how they actually express those emotions.
Which makes me wonder how Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, the planet of structure and discipline,
Right.
fits into all of this.
Yeah.
It doesn't exactly scream like, let's have a heart-to-heart now, does it?
Not really.
Yeah.
Capricorns are known for being grounded practical, right? They embrace hard work responsibility.
Yeah.
But emotional expression, that's a whole other story.
Okay.
And our sources point to Capricorn's initial tendency towards judgment as a major stumbling block for Libra.
I'm starting to see where this is going.
Yeah. So picture this Libra, already a little hesitant to open up, starts to share their feelings.
Okay.
Capricorn, with the best of intentions,
Yeah.
responds with logic, or even worse, unintentional dismissal.
Ouch. Yeah, that's got to sting for a Libra.
Right.
What advice do you have for Capricorns in this situation?
Like, what can they do differently?
Yeah.
I think the key is for Capricorn to resist that urge to problem solve
Okay.
or minimize Libra's feelings.
Yeah.
It's about active listening,
Mm.
validating their experiences, making Libra feel truly heard. It might feel a bit unnatural at first, but it's crucial.
It's like they're speaking different emotional languages.
Yeah.
And Capricorn needs a crash course in Libra.
Totally.
Okay, so we've got potential communication breakdowns, emotional hurdles. Are you seeing a pattern here?
Right.
But before we jump to conclusions,
Okay.
let's talk about their shared values, because there's got to be some common ground, right?
Absolutely. Both Libra and Capricorn value time responsibility
Okay.
and a structured approach to life. These aren't the types to shy away from commitment or putting in the effort to build something, meaningful and lasting.
So at their core, they both want the real deal.
Exactly.
Like a relationship built on a solid foundation. But tell me, where does this go right or wrong?
I think it's all about the execution. Because while they share those core values, how they express those values can be drastically different.
Okay.
And this is where friction can really arise.
How so?
So Libra, being an air sign, it's all about communication ideas,
Okay.
finding balance in the mental and social spheres. Capricorn, on the other hand, as an earth sign, grounded, practical, focused on tangible results.
So Libra might be showering Capricorn with compliments,
Oh, yeah.
love letters, promises of future adventures,
Yeah.
all very heartfelt. But Capricorn's thinking, okay, but are you going to show me you care, like by doing the dishes?
Exactly. It's a classic case of different love languages colliding.
Totally.
Right? What speaks volumes to one partner can just fall completely flat for the other.
Yeah.
It makes you think about, those moments in your own relationships.
Totally.
How often do we misinterpret our partner's actions or words simply because we're coming at it from completely different perspectives?
All the time. It's reassuring that even with these astrological insights, relationships still require effort and understanding.
Absolutely.
So we've established that Libra and Capricorn might need couples therapy when it comes to communication and emotional expression.
Okay.
But what about keeping the romance alive?
Okay.
Can they avoid falling into a predictable and, dare I say, boring routine? That's the million-dollar question with this pairing, isn't it?
Right.
Because let's be honest, their ideal Friday night might involve color coding their bookshelves or finally tackling that budget spreadsheet.
You're not wrong.
Right.
And while there's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying those cozy, low-key moments together,
Right.
our sources really stress that Libra and Capricorn need to be intentional about injecting some excitement into the relationship.
Okay.
Left to their own devices, they really risk getting stuck in that rut of predictability.
So how do they break free? What kind of activities would feel like an adventure for these two?
I think it's all about finding things that push them outside of their comfort zones.
Okay.
Think experiences that encourage spontaneity and playfulness, even a little risk-taking.
Okay.
We're not talking about bungee jumping off a cliff necessarily, but something that disrupts their usual routine and creates that shared sense of novelty.
I love that, giving their relationship a much-needed dose of spontaneity.
Exactly.
So to recap our deep dive, Libra and Capricorn have the potential to build a strong, stable foundation based on those shared values.
Right.
But they're going to need to put in some serious work when it comes to communication, emotional expression, and keeping that spark alive.
Yeah.
It's not a cakewalk.
It's not easy.
But it's definitely not impossible.
Not impossible.
Not impossible. Okay.
A lot of work, though.
Right, exactly. And, it's interesting because we've been laser focused on Libra and Capricorn's romantic compatibility. But how do these dynamics translate to other areas of their lives?
Right.
Imagine these two as friends.
Yeah.
Or even colleagues.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, my God.
Right? How would those patterns play out?
We've uncovered all these nuances about their potential for love and disaster.
Exactly.
How would that work in a platonic friendship or a professional setting?
That's the question I'll leave you with today.
Yeah. Whoa.
How might their communication styles, their emotional tendencies, even just those core values, affect their interactions in those different contexts.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
Yeah.
I can already envision a Libra and Capricorn being either the most productive goal-crushing duo at work
Right.
or constantly butting heads over every little detail.
Totally.
And as for friendship, maybe they bond over their shared love of like organization and efficiency, or maybe their differences are just too vast to reconcile.
Right.
Food for thought.
It really is. And it just goes to show that, while astrology can provide these like incredibly valuable insights,
Yes.
it's really up to us to apply those insights to our own lives and relationships.
Well said. A huge thank you to our resident astrology guru for guiding us through this fascinating deep dive into Libra and Capricorn compatibility. And to our listeners, we hope you've gained some valuable takeaways about this complex and often contradictory pairing. Until next time, happy stargazing.